Hey guys, it's Teacher Melinda here. I want to talk about students. How are they really in the classroom? What can you expect? Um, I've been teaching since the middle of February of this year, 2017, and it has been very interesting. And the one thing that I have learned very quickly about students in Beijing, China, is that they are just like students in America. Students are students. Kids are kids. Like, nothing changes that. If you have ever taught anybody, anywhere, then you're pretty much looking at about the same thing. You never know what kids are going to come in, on how they're going to come in. Are they going to be excited, ready? Are they only there because their parents forced them to be there? You just never know. I have had the gamut. I have had some very super sweet, mild kids who were just like there and ready to learn, and they took the class and then logged off, and that was it. And then I've only had really one student who was, I guess what I would consider to be disrespectful. And I did call him out on that because, like, I don't do disrespect. We won't be doing that. Not in my classroom in person, or not in my classroom virtually, or not in anything. So I did end up making a report on him as well. I filled out a ticket so that, the people on the other end knew that, hey, this is the experience that I have had with this student, and that, if this happens again, like, I'm not going to tolerate it. I will leave the classroom immediately. I'm not going to ask no questions, whatever. So you really just never know. I mean, it really is just a crapshoot. You don't know what's going to happen. I had a little girl who, and like, every time when you get done teaching a class and you fill out their report, part of your report, I mean, it's really quick. Like, don't get overwhelmed. It's not like a long, like, page length report. But in the report, there's a section for you to fill out feedback for the parent, and then there's a section for you to fill out feedback for whoever the next teacher may be. So if you don't get that student again, then you're basically giving some, like, tips and some insider scoop, to the next teacher who that child might book with. And so I had one student who, everybody in their comments said that, hey, she's going to want to show you, like, every single toy that she has. Be prepared. And so I was like, oh, okay, so here we go. So we get in the class and she shows up, and sure enough, we were not in class a hot 5 seconds. And she was like, look at this. And so the funny thing was, it just so happened to be like a little plush Minnie Mouse doll. And so I had some leftover Minnie Mouse ears from Halloween, which are these. And so when I saw her doll, I was like, oh, is that Minnie Mouse? Look at that. I have Minnie Mouse ears. And so I put on my Minnie Mouse ears, and she was like, I can't believe that. You actually have Minnie Mouse ears. And this is how I taught class for the rest of that 25 minutes, like, with my ears on. And true to form, as everybody said she would, she pulled out, I mean, I don't know where this little girl was pulling toys from. I felt like she had, like, a magic Santa Claus satchel that was just, like, reproducing toys as she pulled them out. But, she would show me a toy and I'd say, oh, that's nice. Okay. So, and like, I would just keep it rolling, and she didn't mind. And therefore I didn't mind, because she was focused. She did know the material. She was engaging with me in that. I guess it was just, when I blinked or took a breath, she was like, oh, perfect time to show a toy. Look at this. So that seemed to work out in our favor, her and mine, because I didn't mind wearing the ears. That gave her some comfort to let her know that, like, oh, I'm with a fun teacher or whatever. And we were still able to accomplish what we were able to accomplish. So I've had a student who was very obsessed with sharks and megalodon sharks and all that kind of stuff about sharks. And so, but this student really, like, he just really wanted to talk about everything else except the lesson. And so, I mean, you had to have, you know, your stealth vision on to deal with him, man, because he would just throw things at you, say inappropriate things. And it would have been very easy to kind of get off topic or get sidetracked due to what was happening in the classroom that we didn't finish the lesson. So I just made sure to kind of soldier through, and, you know, for his inappropriate comments, I would just completely ignore, or I would flat out tell him that's inappropriate. Don't ask it again. And I would just keep right on rolling with the lesson as if nothing had happened. You know, I've had little ones, like young ones, who really, you know, I don't know if they were afraid. I don't know if they were, if it was like their first time taking a class and they just kind of aren't used to it. But, you know, they've been bouncing. I've had one that was just like bouncing off the wall. Like, she literally started off the first 5 or 6 minutes of class sitting on her father's shoulder. I was like, oh, okay, just, we gonna stay up there? That's okay. Well, all right, let's just keep going. So I've had that, and she's like been up and down and run across the computer screen, and I'm like, oh, there she went. Anybody gonna go get her? All right, here we go. I've had a student cry, and they just did not end up taking the class because the student, I guess, just was not trying to have class that day. And so they just had to shut that whole thing down. So I've had students that are very mild-mannered. So, you know, me being all extra like, yay, oh my God, you're doing such a great job. Like, none of that fazed them. None of it. Not in the least bit. They did not care whether I had clappers, or they didn't care if I had star shades. They didn't care for any of that. They were just like, look, I'm here to get this lesson, and then I'm going to be done. So you've kind of had it all. And that, I mean, I've kind of had it all. And it just doesn't surprise me. Kids are kids. Having been an elementary school teacher, that gave me a lot of practice, because you never know what bag your kids are going to come out of when they come into your regular classroom. Same thing here. So just kind of prepare yourself that, you know, I feel like the kids will kind of let you know what it is you need to put out, you know, and read up on your teacher comments that before you go into the classroom, and that kind of lets you know like what other experiences other teachers have had with that particular student. And that'll kind of give you a lot of insight as well. And other than that, you're just kind of, you know, seeing where it goes, you know, especially if you're having like a trial class where nobody has had that kid before. You don't know what's going to happen. So just kind of be prepared. So I like to have some things ready. And then depending on how the student kind of, you know, reads across the screen and like how they kind of respond during those first few minutes, like that kind of lets me know where we are with each other for the remainder of the class. And it's been fine. So don't be afraid or worried like, oh my God, if this student does this, then that means like I'm not doing great or whatever. That's not what it means. It just means kids are kids, no matter what country, no matter what nation, no matter what background. Kids are kids. So you're going to have students that like to rush, and you will have to slow them down and pace them and make them say their full sentences. And then you will have students that may not want to say anything and they just want to look at you. You never know. I haven't had that one yet. So I'm thankful for that. I haven't had that yet. But so you just have to have an open mind. Just make sure you are prepared. Make sure you read up on other teacher experiences and have your stuff set out in case you need it. And but don't stress yourself about it, thinking that, you know, what that child is doing is a direct result of you. Usually it's not. Usually it's just, you know, kids. Some kids are just, doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is being kids, you know, especially the young ones. They just kind of, you know, young kids are emotional anyway, so you just never know what you're going to get with them either. I would just say if you ever have a situation where you feel like you have a student who is being disrespectful or anything, I would definitely tell you to fill out a ticket and make sure you send that in to the company so that they know that they need to speak with these parents about this particular student. But other than that, like, I have really enjoyed it. All the kids that I've met, no matter how different they have been, the joy is that I don't have to have them all at one time like it was in my regular classrooms. The joy is that I get to get one-on-one. So you and all your energy by yourself, you and no energy, you and sleepy, you and crying, you and I want to rush, you know, whatever it is, it's fine. You'll do fine. You'll be fine. Just give yourself a little grace in that area and you'll be fine. So don't worry about it. Hopefully you've gotten a little something from my little 2 cents worth of sharing, and hopefully it helps you make a decision whether you want to join the VIPKID family. If you have, then welcome. If you have been thinking about it and teetering back and forth about it, then I will be leaving for you a referral link in the description box. So feel free to not only subscribe to the channel, but to click the link so you can get started. Stop waiting already. We need more teachers, clearly. Feel free to watch the other videos. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comment section below. And until next time, guys, bye.